Hello everyone and welcome to the Big Spring Quail YouTube channel. This is going to be my first real try at a video. What this is going to be is a day in the life. I have the camera on my chest here so you can see everything I'm doing. These are some of our cows. I just figured I'd start the video off by showing you guys that. The first thing we're going to be doing today is going into the quail house here, and we're going to be moving some chicks out of the brooders in the garage. So this is the first real look anyone's had at the quail house that's not related to me. So we walk in and it's a mess already. Please, no judgment. But here we have our first room of quail. We'll do a quail barn tour at a later date, but this is the first room. It goes on in there. We're gonna hang out in here, which would be the living room. So we've got our thieving otter farm cage. We've got a big old GQF cage that I found on Marketplace for a steal. But today's focus is going to be this brooder cage right here. I've just moved about 5 banded black out of here. And they obviously left me a perfect little treasure of a fairy egg. Don't know what I'll do with that other than toss it right in the poop tray. Here's all the banded blacks that just moved. They're not liking their downsize, but they'll get used to it. And I have to find a male for them because every single one was a female. So we're going to be moving chicks out of the garage into this cage right here. So first thing we're going to do is go back outside onto the porch of the quail house. We're going to grab the transport cage. And I will see you guys back when we get to the brooder. All right, we are back now at the brooder. We have a lovely little group of topaz chicks that is going to be moving out today. As you can see, their brooder has been turned off, so they're ready to come off heat. Pretty gross in there. Luckily, these are just paper towels, so should be easy cleanup. But I'm going to move these guys off camera because we all know how long that can take, because they can be quite difficult. But I mean, how can you hate that little face right there? And can't forget about the roo pansies too. Gotta love those. But I'll see you guys back when we're done. All right, we are back at the quail barn. I've got a little bit of feed and a whole lot of chicks to take in now. So we're gonna take these right on in the door and take them over to their new home. Not permanent home, temporary home. I gotta flip them around. But what I like to do, since I've got this nice big opening on this cage, is to open this side sliding door. Now they just kind of walk themselves out. I know you can't see it, but they're already leaving the cage. Good thing about these birds is they're not bothered by much, so it's kind of hard to get them to leave sometimes. We are gonna move the process along because I don't have all day for them to walk them happy selves out. There they all are in their grow out cage. Alright, so we got the little guys all set up, and now, lucky for all of you, it is water day. So we're going to continue through the rest of the quail house. Flip on the lights here. Here's an oven. I mean, it really is a house. Not a full tour, but here's just kind of a look around of what you'll see. I don't use this cage. It's for sale if you want it. I just don't like it. But here's a little look of what you'll see. Ventilation fan. Continue out the back. It will go out the back door here and open it up. Oh yeah, there's a nice big tree limb that fell right in my way. Prop that open. And since it gets cold at night now, I have to store my nozzle inside. But we go out back here to our hose. And even though it is a house, the indoor plumbing does not work. Surprise, surprise. If you can hear him, there's our new rooster over there. There's our chickens. We gotta unwind the hose here. Try and show you more of an angle of what I'm doing. This is my first time, so be easy on me. You just got sticks in the way everywhere. The chickens are over here. That's the chicken house right there, and they've got that big nice run. There did used to be quail in there. If you can see that quail hut, there's the rooster. We go over to the water here. Then we have our big boys over here. These are steers that we're feeding out. We are going to fatten them up, and yes, we're going to eat them because growing your own beef is cool and they taste good. Okay, come on, camera. So we're gonna hook the hose up, turn it on. Oh, and that is Muhammad and Mussolini in the back there. But now, going to walk back. There's the magnificent quail house. Gonna walk back to the quail house and start on water day. All right, I don't know how good of an angle I'll be able to give on water day, just because all the water tanks are up top and this is mounted on my chest. So this could probably get completely cut from the video if it doesn't work out, but I gotta stretch the hose out, which is why I walked to that door. Now I come back and let's see, can you see it? I don't know, we'll see. But I reach up here, I feel with my hand, and I fill until I feel the water. And I'll do this on however many cages I have. I think 5 or 6 operating cages. The hatching time back there had plenty of water because there's a less density in there. Water day takes place every 2 to 3 days here in the winter. In the summer, it'll be like every day. Sometimes I'll get lucky and it'll be every other day, but it would not be uncommon for it to take place every day in the summer. So now we're finished with the first room. Flip the camera back. I don't know what you just saw. I hope it's good. And we have to stretch the hose out all the way to the door. Takes about 150 feet of hose to complete this task. Here is the big cage. They drink about the same amount of water, but they also have a much bigger, I think they have a 5-gallon instead of a 2.5 or 1.5. What I really like and would recommend for anyone to do is have a clear water bucket, especially if you're inside, because I have not had any algae growth in this, even though it has been in here for close to a year now, that one. And we've got the thieving otter cage here. And I recommend the clear one because if you are in a situation like I am and you have to reach up to do all your water buckets, then you can actually see the water level instead of having to feel for it. I'm lucky enough that water day doesn't take too long. In the winter, if it's too cold, then I have to bucket water in because the hose gets frozen or it's too cold to use the hose and all that. And our last cage is the grow out cage. And I hope you guys are getting a good angle. I just stepped on a mouse trap if you heard that noise. And if you didn't, then I have good audio. But the grow outs obviously drink the most water because they have the densest population in here. In the summer, the grow outs will get filled up every single day, whereas a lot of the breeder cages can go every other day. And maybe I just need to get a bigger tank for this cage because right now I'm rocking the 2-gallon. Grow outs are also the most curious, if you can see the little birdies. And now, just like that, we're done with water day. I do want to showcase these guys to you. If you're on my live stream, you heard about these guys. These are my blue collection. They're pretty friendly little things. Please don't jump out. But there's homozygous blue, one of my favorites. And here is a blue ginger. Quite a pretty bird. Here's a better example at a blue ginger. Oh, they're chunky. Oh, okay. These are more blue gingers. They've got that nice reddish tint to them. I have to say they don't look the same on camera as they do in person. But let me know if you guys like the blue gingers. I'll definitely post them on my Facebook a little bit. But I really love homozygous blue. That darker one there, that would be an example of heterozygous blue. That's still a pretty cool color, but I love homozygous. All right, now we're going to move into feeding. And yes, I did just make a feed mill run. I'm not always this well stocked, but what we're feeding here is Tucker milling, I think 20 or 22% game bird layer crumble. And right there is a 28% layer starter. Nothing to it. I think you all know how to feed. You go, if the trough's empty, or feeder, or whatever you guys call it, then you fill it. Sidetrack here. This is a group I'm very excited about this year. Some jumbo Egyptians. They're very nice birds. They are from Seal's Family Farm. Shout out to them. Very excited about having those to add to the collections. Now we just rinse and repeat. Fill the scoop up and see who needs feed. Most of this cage will normally get the 28%. The bottom layer is spare males, so they will sometimes get this layer feed because I don't want to feed them expensive feed. But I mean, like these birds, they're fine. My birds don't need fed every day, which is nice on the cash flow because feeding birds every day is expensive, and nice because if I can't make it down here one night or something, then I don't have to worry about it too much. I'm sure all of you are this way if you have quail. I know what cages need fed more often and what cages aren't going to eat all their feed right away and all that. So, you know, like this weekend, I went to see family for Christmas and I was able to leave my quail for 24 hours because they keep food and water for 2 to 3 days, or keep water for 2 to 3 days, and food can go at least 24 hours. Now we're moving on to the kitchen, as it would be technically known. And these are all breeder cages. These guys don't normally eat a lot, except for my Big Spring Blues up here. They tend to eat a little more than the average bird. Over here, I actually tend to ration these birds out a little more because I don't know, you can probably see it down in the tray. They waste a lot of feed. So I only give them feed for about a day because if they have a whole full container, then they scrape it all out. Then it's just a waste. And we have the hatching time guys, and they are going to get fed today. Normally they can go about 5 days. Of all things I dislike about hatching time cages, I do not dislike the feeders. They never had an ounce of waste from these. And I guess it's the grate, because I know bare troughs tend to be quite terrible. But I mean, I guess that little feeder grate down in there saves the day. I don't know why or how, but it just does. And I broke something, if you heard that. That's okay, we don't need it. And it's pretty basic. I think if you're still here watching, you're listening to me talk more than watching me do feed. But I was going to say chores there, but I actually strongly dislike the word chores. It makes things sound harder and worse than they are. Because I like feeding my birds every day. It's not a chore. So I never use the word chores. Most people would say bird chores, but I do not. And now we're going to move on to the little guy feed. And like everyone, I have mice. So on the trash can lid goes. The little guys are simple and high maintenance at the same time. We're going to feed this top cage first. The little guys, no matter what, I always fill up their containers. It just makes sense to never let them run out of feed. So I never let them run out of feed. And that's how they grow big and strong. And generally, I only feed this 28% until 4 to 5 weeks old, whereas others will feed it until they see the first egg, because it actually is quite taxing on their kidneys to feed them that high protein for such a long time. We are done with things we have to do in the quail barn today. I'll do a review actually at some point on all the cages and products I have in here. Let me just start off. Don't waste your money on that. I bought a second GQF brooder so I didn't have to use it. They're all taken care of. Everyone here is taken care of. Here's a super secret project. If you can catch a glance of them, I won't hang there too long. There's some jumbo fawns. I love them. Little progressive pied action. Everyone in the big cage is taken care of. More progressive pies. I'm sure you've seen a lot of secret projects, but you don't know their secrets, so I won't tell you. A lot of food, a lot of eggs, a lot of birds. All the little grow outs are taken care of. And it was poop tray day yesterday, so if it looks a little extra clean, I cleaned up for you guys. But that will be it for feed in the quail barn today. All right, everyone, we're back in the garage, back at the brooders. We have this one cleaned up, ready for today's hatch. Today we have a box full of some banded blacks. Quite good looking babies. Looks like we have a decent hatch rate so far. I'll get back to you guys with hatch rate, but first I'll show you what we do with them. I have so many quail and they all look alike as chicks, so you have to be able to identify them. So what I do is I take these little cuticle clippers. I learned this from Rebecca Lynch and Michael Rose. Basically, you clip the webbing in between their little toes. So for the banded black, it will be webbing number 2 and 4. Okay, this is hard to do with a camera on, guys. So 4 would be this one, and I'll just take it in a little clip. See, he didn't cry or anything, and now, goodness, it's clipped right there, you can see it. And now I'll do number 2, and now I can identify this guy as a banded black. And I'll open up the door and send him on his way. And now we got to do that however many more times that is. All the banded blacks are in their home. Now we're going to be adding more chicks to this brooder, but we got about a 75% hatch rate, which makes sense because some of these eggs I set were over 2 weeks old. But we'll see you back when I have the next batch. Alright, and we're back with more babies. These are some very special babies. I'm going to keep them a secret for now. Just know there's some special babies. And these are some lovely celadons from our friends Aaron and Christina at Guidro's Family Farm. Thank you very much for those. If you're watching this video, I've always had generally good luck with their celadons, so hopefully that continues. I'll show you how I clip these guys too. So these celadons are they just get one web cut. I wish you could feel this because it's a little beefy. And he's being dramatic. I cut this web, and you can see, I think you can see it's cut, and now that one is good to go. Oh, it left me a present, and that is why I recommend always having a paper towel. That was lovely. Some nice baby quail poop on me. And these specific ones, they are also beefy. This one will get that web and that web cut. Now he's got both those webs cut. There will be a little bit of blood sometimes, you can see, but he'll be alright. That's what you see in there too. I'll catch you guys when I'm done with these 2 baskets of eggs. All right, and that will just about do it for what we have today. Please don't jump out. I gotta put my hand there. Happy little brooder full of chicks running around everywhere. Thank you for watching, and this has been a day in the life of Big Spring Quail.